Welcome back to a new episode of Gluttons for Geekdom.
How's everything going, sir?
I'm alright. I'm Bobby Deuce, and this here is...
Nicholas Philippek.
Alright, and today we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones.
Please don't sue us. Could you imagine if they just sent something like a cease and desist, like, how dare you?
They can't, well, on YouTube, you can't play another person's song on there, so if, I think it's like 10 seconds, or you just like, yeah, cease and desist, sort of shit. But you can sing it, I guess, a little bit, so...
Marvel hasn't come because we sang the 90s Spider-Man thing, so maybe, hopefully, nobody will come for us either for this.
If you go back and listen to it, we kind of butchered the shit out of it. But
no, see, I love it. When I listened to it, live, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty fun, yeah.
We geeked out so hard.
We geeked out really hard, and we're about to do it again now with some Game of Thrones.
Yark.
I would say, before we really start, that this is one of the things that got us really appreciative of each other's knowledge and the battling of back and forth and stuff like that. Yeah, just being able to sit and talk about it. Really, this is one of the pillars that really brought the show up for sure. I mean, we love talking about some Game of Thrones.
Most definitely. So before we actually get into the Thrones, let's talk a little bit about his creator, George R.R. Martin.
He is as awesome as us in the fact that he's from New Jersey, sir.
No.
Born and raised in Bayonne, New Jersey. He's 67, born on September 20th, 1948. So he's kind of up there. But Bayonne, New Jersey, I mean, that's
Bayonne, yeah.
A little bit from us.
Well, some shit still comes out of New Jersey.
I know. I thought all we had was Bruce Springsteen to really grasp onto. We have the boss, but now we have the creator of Game of Thrones.
Don't we also have, like, John Bon Jovi or something?
Bon Jovi, yeah. We have Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, all right.
He's from, Islands. The RR. Raymond Richard.
I have never known that.
George Raymond Richard Martin. GRRM, as he's shortened down to, because with 4 freaking names, yeah, I would too. I think.
Grr.
Oh, you want to hear something funny? I was actually watching Penn and Teller Bullshit. Pretty awesome show on Showtime. And they wanted people to stop mixing up acronyms for abbreviations. An acronym like SCUBA, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, is a word in which can be said. SCUBA. FBI cannot be said. You can't go FB. So that's he's a co-executive producer on the show. He's also written 4 episodes, on top of the books with the... How many are out right now? It's 5 with 2 more coming?
Yes, 5 with 2 more coming.
5 with 2 more coming.
Yeah,
So
Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, Feast for Crows, and Dance with Dragons.
And then you mentioned it last episode. What's the
Winds
next
of Winter, and I believe Dreams of Spring. I should have looked that up when I talked about it last time, but I didn't, so fuck me.
Some spring. He started this back in 1991 when he first got the idea, I read, and then it's not until 1996 that actually the first one came out. So that's a good 5 years of sitting on all this stuff, and then from 96 to 2016, I mean, the man's literally been doing it for 20 years now. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Dude put his name on the fucking map.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sick.
The other thing about him that gets brought up a lot that a lot of people like to talk about is one of his main influences that he's given credit to is Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, a giant Lord of the Rings nerd. Which is cool. I mean...
That is cool.
You could see kind of some of it.
Yeah,
at least the time period seems to be in and around the same, and some magical effects.
Same time, except there's just... Well, I mean, I guess for, Arya, there's a lot of walking. As far as everybody else, you're kind of just jumping from scene to scene.
Other than Smaug, are there any other dragons in those final 3 books? I don't remember. I've never actually read them, I can't say.
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
I watched the movies and stuff. If I find them on Audible, I'm definitely going to be watching.
They've got to be on Audible.
Listen to some Lord of the Rings.
On Audible. Because Audible is awesome, and that's where both Mr. Bobby Deuce and I have listened to these Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I think I added it up the other day. I've put over 100 hours into these books. That's so much time.
That's how much the books would call for to listen to them start to finish, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the exact math, but if you add all of them up, and I'm still actually 2 hours away from finishing. I thought my ride out to Pennsylvania would get me through, but I get lost, so I had to stop listening to that and listen to the GPS. So it didn't really get me all the way through. 2 more hours to go, and then I'll be caught up. I don't think I'll finish tonight, because tonight, actually, for us, I don't know if it'll be cut and put out for tonight, but...
What you look like right now is just like some guy's got been listening to Audible like for the past 17 hours.
I have. I feel...
His hair is all disheveled, and he's just a wild 1,000-yard stare.
It's a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's bad that I listened to this all back to back to back to back. I mean, 100 hours worth, but with only 2 hours left to go and 98 or something behind me, it does seem like it is a journey. It did take some time. But it was all awesome during it. I mean...
The Fellowship of the Ring
on
Audible, 19 hours.
That's nothing.
Two Towers, 16 hours.
Nothing.
They have a dramatization of Fellowship of the Rings. Return of the King, 18 hours.
So we could get through those in a week.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
On a good work week, with some overtime, yeah, we can get through those.
The Hobbit is 11 hours. I'm going to get down on this shit right here.
Maybe I will, too. I mean,
narrated by Christopher Lee.
No.
Children of Hurn, narrated by Christopher Lee.
Like the Christopher Lee.
It says Christopher Lee. I'm not sure if it's someone else, then...
That'll be such a disappointment. Oh my God.
How do you have the name Christopher Lee and not be Christopher Lee?
No, that would be great.
But that's my name. I am Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee.
You're not Christopher Lee. You're not my Christopher Lee. Sir, we've just met. I could be your Christopher Lee if you wanted me to be.
So Audible. But first, actually, before we really get into that, I don't think I mentioned on the Chive, which is a website, if you go to, awesome, they've been doing this thing about who is the hottest female character on the show. And right now, the main two, the final battle comes between Daenerys and Marjorie. What's her last name, sorry?
Tyrell.
Yeah.
All right, so...
It's been a pretty good fight so far.
Oh, they actually have quite a few.
Oh, yeah, there's been a few bouts. But those two ladies are at the very end, so let's see.
Marjorie Tyrell.
Uh-huh.
I can't see who this X is.
They put over the X's.
Yeah, that sucks. There's... Melisandre was on here.
Yeah, she got kind of far.
I think Sansa was on here, but she got beaten up by Melisandre.
Sansa got beaten out pretty early.
Yeah. There's that sand snake that came through the bars that showed some of her tit.
Oh, the one that...
I can't remember her name, but...
Me neither, but the sellsword loves him.
Yeah.
Or her.
There's, You Know Nothing, Jon Snow.
Egret. She got pretty far. I think that she got beat out by Daenerys in the end. Yeah, so the semifinals were actually...
No, she was beaten out by Marjorie Tyrell, which...
Oh, okay. So semifinals was Marjorie versus Egret, and who was on the other side with Dany?
Missandei.
So Dany, Missandei, Egret, and...
Marjorie.
Why can't I remember? Those four were the top four, and now it's just Marjorie and Daenerys. And I think that those final four are mine. Yeah, Missandei, though. I mean, Missandei over Daenerys. Really? You agree?
I'll give it to Daenerys. She's hot, but I was always down for Missandei.
But it's going to be a final thing. I think that'll be great. You know, we'll tell you who wins, but I think Daenerys is going to win.
It's so saturated.
That's why I think she's going to win.
Yeah.
She's the mother of dragons. I mean, Marjorie's cool and all. Hasn't really shown...
Every time, though.
Hasn't shown a lot of Marjorie, though.
Yeah,
Not even in the books, now I think of it. I mean, she plays a very similar role in the book in the fact that she's there, she's doing stuff, but not big enough stuff to really care about.
She has to compete with Cersei Lannister, so I'm guessing she's not going to stand up to her.
But as we know, in the end, well, at least as we know now, like, that competition does not go well for Cersei. So coming into this new season, I'd really like to see what are we going to do with her.
Yeah.
Because Cersei's going to be beaten and pissed.
From the start, she's probably going to be, like, kind of, like, downplayed. Just like, yeah, let me just actually, like, lay low for a little bit. Low profile.
All right, before we do that, one more time. Sorry, Chive. There is a site that they reported on now that I can't find, actually, where all of your fan theories if you are so sure on them, you can freaking bet on it, man. Bet safe. That is it. A website, and this is a quote from the tribe, so please don't, I didn't steal anything. A website called BetSafe is taking wagers related to Game of Thrones. Are you positive Jon Snow is going to be resurrected? Absolutely sure Tyrion will die this season. Put your money where your mouth is. So they're actually literally taking bets. You put your money in, and depending on what happens, you can win.
For the show, though?
For the show.
Tyrion dying this season.
That would suck.
I don't think it's going to happen.
So some of the ones they have on here...
Because they're bringing in the Greyjoys and shit.
Is will the Dothraki fight for Daenerys Targaryen as their leader? How will Jon Snow be brought to life? I guess if Jon Snow's getting brought back to life, how's that going to happen?
Probably with Melisandre.
Will Arya, Bran, Jon, Rickon, and Sansa reunite? That'd be nice. Is Eddard Stark alive?
No.
Yeah.
Not unless they sewed his head on like they did Grey Wind on Robb Stark.
And then the last one is who will die first, and they have
any names there?
They have all of them with the best odds. Yeah, the best odds is Daenerys. She's not dying. Well, that means she won't die. The most likely to die is Jorah Mormont. And what did I just say while we were preparing this episode?
What?
If Jorah Mormont dies, I'm going to be really upset. He's one of the only people who I still have heart in. Mormont, this guy, right? The guy with the fingers, the Onion Knight is Mormont.
Oh wow, dude! You're gonna have to.
No.
This. It's Davos, Jesus. My friend. Davos. Davos is the last good guy in Westeros.
Okay, he's not on this list though. Hold on.
So Davos isn't gonna die?
No.
Or you just don't give enough of a fuck about him for him to die.
No, so it's
oh my god,
Mormont.
I can't wait till when he finds out what happened to.
Davos. When Davos finds out what happened to the little girl with the grayscale stuff, he's going to be pissed. He's going
to be pissed, and he's going to find out that both the mother and the father are dead. What? He's like, no revenge. Yeah. Why in this Westeros I can get no revenge?
He's going to be so happy that mother fucking hung herself. Hanged.
Hanged? Hung. I use hung.
That's right, you did.
What?
Oh, you can make that dirty, don't worry. Alright, so that's it for really the pre-news. So now I want to just dive into some Game of Thrones. Let's really just get these characters going, flesh out where they've been, and where we think they're going to go. And even, because we are such experienced people, we could talk about the book differences. What's that face?
Just thinking about the things that are going to happen. So, alright, where we leave off in the last season, Jon Snow was stabbed.
Yeah, that was a big question.
Pincushioned his ass. His own brothers from the Night's Watch. He was over here bringing in like a shit ton of wildlings. They go to that island, or they sail somewhere where there are a bunch of wildlings held up. He sends a bunch of Night's Watchman dudes out there, and as they're there trying to get these wildlings out, a bunch of whites just start attacking the city. It's like, oh crap, all these whites are here. Then as they're fighting all these whites, then White Walkers start showing up here. There was the main White Walker was he the main White Walker?
Oh.
The one who looked Samuel like right in the eyes at the end of one of the episodes.
Maybe.
And then he's like,
oh yeah. Damn, those things are scary.
Yeah, I think he was the one who showed up there. And then Jon Snow was like, oh, we're about to do battle, but hit you with my sword. And he kills him with his Valyrian steel sword. Fucking shatters his monkey ass. Crazy. So yeah, that was cool. Now he was the first White Walker you see coming in there, and then the other one comes in there. The sleek-faced one, the one that doesn't have all the weird facial like ridges and shit. He comes in there and he's like, after all, everybody's dead. They're over here like bounce and stuff. Tons of wildlings are dead. Tons of Night's Watchmen are dead. All laying on the ground. Whoever could escape. They're on the boats. Jon Snow's looking at the dude, and the guy just steps out there, and he just slow rise with their hands. Like,
and everybody gets up. All their fallen comrades, everybody they just re-killed.
Basically showing you how they do it, and they didn't show you at all how they actually do it. He just rose his hands, and everybody's like, well, that was a sweet nap. let's go kill those living dudes over there. I don't really give a fuck about anything else anymore. Chilling.
So they get back to the wall,
and
they kill him for the watch because they just don't like the decisions he's making.
Which is just still like the most bullshit.
Because, alright, so to really kind of recap everything, wildlings are people above the wall.
Yes.
The wall is, in fact, just a giant ice wall where Castle Black is held. And it's there to house the men of the Night's Watch and to keep wildlings and these others, White Walkers, whites, up past it.
I mean, like, the show isn't really clear on what the wall was built for. Like, the wall's just sort of there. That's when they bring you into the world. Like, the wall's there, and...
No, we know Bran built it, though, right? Not Bran Stark, obviously.
Bran the Builder?
Yeah, Bran the Builder, the man Bran was named for, but he built the wall, I think.
I'm not sure if they actually... I don't remember if they tell you that in the show, but they definitely tell you in the book.
Mm.
That's who Bran was named for, but... Yeah, he builds the wall, but, I mean, they don't go into why the wall was built or anything. The wall's just there, and everybody just believes it's there. And it's supposed to be keeping something out.
But we think it's
nobody
the
knows. Yes,
because they haven't seen White Walkers in over 1,000 years.
Thousands of years, yeah. So, like, keeping out the wildlings, and they need a giant wall. The wildlings are still getting in. They either go around the wall or they climb over the wall.
But they can't just in a mass herd, almost.
Yeah.
Also, they think it was to protect from giants, but as far as they know, for most of the series, there are no giants.
Seen any giants.
Mammoths, same thing.
Seen any mammoths
They keep out some dire wolves, but not all of them, because right early in the beginning of the first book, all 5 Stark children happened upon a dead mother, and they had 5 pups, and then the 6th one for Snow. For Jon Snow.
He wasn't even laying with the wolves. He wasn't even under the wolves. He was off somewhere, which is just touching.
And his last name is Snow and not Stark because in that world, in that universe, in that part of the world, I should say, if you're a bastard, your last name is Snow. If you go other places, it could be like Flower.
It's pretty much the name of... it's a symbolic name for where you come from. So,
and now you're a bastard.
and it's, yes, you're just a child of this land. Like, you don't have any parentage, you're just a child on this land. No one wants you.
And that's the main reason that he even went up to the Night's Watch, is being a bastard, is he would always have to live in the shadow of his quote-unquote true brothers, the real Starks.
Yeah.
But on the wall, he can make a name for himself.
And
in his journey, he made a name for himself, and as, we got up to what we were just talking about with the pin cushioning, they didn't just kill a brother of the Night's Watch, they killed the fucking Lord Commander. He was the Lord Commander, and they didn't like his calls, and they killed him as the Lord Commander. And it took him a while to become Lord Commander, and it came a lot of good decisions, and the fat fuck Samuel Tarly playing some cards and getting them up there.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a brother, so what are they going to do?
Well, I mean, like, so far we don't know who orchestrated the stabbings and stuff. I mean, you see Alistair Thorne there, but you don't know if it was his that day or not. It was, I'm not even sure if that's how it happened in the book, if he was even there. I know in the book he sent him away. Like, he wasn't even in the lab.
I just got through that coming back to New Jersey. And it was nothing like the show in the fact that there was so many men. I think in the book they only described 3 actual knives going into him. Mm-hmm. 1 going in, the same guy trying to stab twice, he deflects, it doesn't. Somebody stabs him again, and then 1 goes in between his back. And he's just, I think one of the last quotes is that at the end I didn't feel the knives going, he didn't feel the knives going in. All he felt was the cold. And that's actually the last that you hear of Jon Snow in the book. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it wasn't like a stab, it wasn't as ritualistic as it was in the show of, for the watch, stab. So it's kind of get out of the way. For the watch, stab.
Jumped in there and just
kind of stabbed him. Yeah, somebody did say this is for... Somebody said something close to the line for the watch, but they didn't say exactly for the watch, do the stabbing.
If anything, it was
a little bit different.
Low-key assassination attempt instead of just a usurping.
Yes. Ooh, nice words here. That's what I like about Daenerys. She always says that word funny in the book. Usurpers. The usurpers tried to take my throne. Usurpers. She says it's really funny in the book, and it's hard to take it seriously.
She sounds like such a retard.
Yeah, as we had to run from the usurpers. I just saw a picture. It reminds me of the Irma Gerd girl. The one with the goosebumps. And I just saw a thing on her from the internet now, and she looks like a normal human being. And it's just like, yeah, that sucks. You know, I was like 12, 13. Everybody's got a photo where you look like an Irma Gerd at 12 or 13. So.
Insert fingers words. She had so many of them. Oh, God. We're to stay on the wall, there's what's going on with Lysandra, Davos, and Stannis. They're still in the north. They were on the wall for like a good minute.
Well, Stannis isn't.
Well, they all were for a good minute, and then Stannis had to leave.
Oh, and they marched to Winterfell.
Yes, because I guess he was trying to like get recruits or get him.
Well, no, he came to defend the wall versus the wildlings. That's when Ygritte he came and saved them from when Ygritte was fighting.
But I believe he went there from the get-go to get recruits so he can actually start taking some land back. Or sending some...
The way I remember it from the book is that Jon Snow, once he escaped from being a turncloak, came back and he's like, guys, they're coming. Somebody needs to help. And the only person to write back was Stannis. And then he got there and was like, how many letters you write? I'm fucking here. I'm the true rightful king. And he starts taking people. There's a lot of lands given to him from the gift, which is like a big piece of land over the right on the other side of the wall. Gets dealt out, and then he goes to try to take Winterfell back. And that's where eventually he know what it is, no more. But Melisandre came back. Yeah, and in the show, where is Davos?
Davos?
The Onion Knight. My guy. I love that guy.
I think he might just be on the wall.
No, because if he was on the wall, he would have seen his daughter, not his daughter, his friend, the little girl who taught him to read, die.
No, they died. They died right outside of Winterfell. She died right outside of Winterfell.
Okay, so he still couldn't have been with her then.
You know, he might be on the wall.
Oh, okay. He never left the wall.
Never left the wall.
To march to Winterfell.
Yeah.
But in the book, neither did the girl or the mother.
So, yeah, we don't know. How does that turn out?
So that's obviously one of the big differences.
Yeah. There's some there, as we said in the, it was the last episode or the episode before that where I'm sorry, we record like 2 episodes each time we sit down to do some recordings, so.
Sometimes 3, and then, we get a little lost
and
on what we talk about. So if we get repetitive.
It kind of just gets like, when I say the last episode, I'm thinking about the last time we sat down and recorded. And I could have mentioned something that was 2 episodes ago instead of just 1. So just bear with me. Bear with us. We love you. You love us. Maybe. But we mentioned that there are some like changes that occur in the show that don't occur in the book. In the show, what's her name? The little girl? The scale face?
Oh, jeez, I could not remember. Stannis' daughter. His daughter, who he does not like to talk about or discuss because she's deformed and her face is half scaly.
She had a nice name. I'm going to call her Stupendra. Stupendra, she was just thrown onto a stake and they just burned the shit out of her. Because there's a legend in the Game of Thrones universe about the Red God Valor who made some other king dude like burn the body of someone who he loved.
Who has royal blood in them.
Yes, royal blood. And from that body was a gleaming sword made of light. Yes, a light sword. And that sword is supposed to like just stop all the darkness and just quell evil and all that crazy nonsensory do-goodery. So that's what Stannis Baratheon was trying to do from his daughter. But didn't happen that way.
No.
In the show, what's supposed to happen is that he was supposed to get the Lord's blessing. And the very next day, half of his dudes just bounced. They took all the horses, so now his whole army just has to walk everywhere to go. His wife hangs herself, or when I watched it the second time, I was like, oh, maybe someone actually just threw her up there and hung her. But I like to think that she hung herself because fuck you. You were all about this Valora light.
Yeah, and up until that very second where your daughter was about to die, you despised the very sight of her.
You're like, oh no!
Yeah, at the very end, you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't kill my only daughter. But up until that point...
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
I love her. And then after that happens, Stannis is like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Let's march on Winterfell.
That's one of the most intense scenes in the last episode of the last season is when they're marching, and you can see their column marching.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. The craziest thing about
that. From Winterfell coming and surrounding them.
What's so awesome is that he's okay. They're walking to Winterfell. Like, Stannis is like, all right, let's get this siege started. And it's like secondhand dude was like, there's not gonna be a siege because Winterfell already knows they're out there, and they just fucking like crescent moon like strike his ass.
Surround him, and there's nowhere to run.
From the front, and they flanked his ass at the same time. They had infantry and cavalry just like running stuff.
So that leaves now Melisandre back at Winterfell with no king behind her.
No, she's back at the wall.
Back at the wall. Sorry. Back at the wall with no king behind her anymore. Doesn't have that. Like, what is she gonna do now? And the big fan theory spoiler for 3, 2, 1 is that she'll resurrect Jon Snow.
I think she'll probably resurrect Jon Snow because, for one, she probably thought he was the rightful king, and two, like, yo, I need your help.
She needs somebody.
Yeah, she needs somebody to back her, and like she just came from like a failed, like, if anything, Davos gonna be like, the fuck are you doing back here?
Yeah.
What? They died? You bitch!
It's gonna be bad, but. Yeah. If he comes back, nobody can question his rule. Like, nobody questions that. But that'll be crazy. That would be. And from what I've seen in the previews, there is a scene where Davos is standing there again. I can't know where he is.
All up in her face.
But he's got a sword on him, and he says, "Usually I'm not a man of violence, so you'll have to excuse me for this." And pulls it, and then it cuts. So we'll see this season where that comes in and when it comes in, but. I've said, the Onion Knight is my dude, because as I've gone on this journey, and I've read these books, he starts off as a smuggler, and on his right hand, or his left, I'm not going to get into it.
The hand that he doesn't use for fighting, so it's probably his left.
So it's probably his left. Stannis has taken the first 2 digits, the first digit or the first 2 digits of each of his hands.
Yeah.
And that's how he is given up.
He's one-handed.
Is given back and said sorry for being a smuggler. But since that day, he's been the truest guy in this book to me. Other than Ned Stark. But, spoiler again, if you know nothing about Game of Thrones, Ned Stark dies. But since then, Davos is like the only one, misguided or not, he believes in Stannis.
Yeah.
And he admires Stannis, and his loyalty to Stannis is one of the only loyalties.
Unwavering.
He's one of the only characters that as he speaks words... there is no secondary thought that erases what he's saying. Like a lot of the times you get with the scheming characters. Thank you, my lord, she said as she thought about murdering him. That never happens with the Onion Knight. That never happens with him. What he says is what he's thinking, is what he feels, and unwavering to Stannis. So I really do like him. I can't wait to see him kick some ass this season.
Yeah.
Let's see where they go with him.
When you cross the line with Davos, that's when you know shit is about to go down.
Oh.
Davos.
So...
let's talk a little bit about Stannis Baratheon.
He's dead.
He is dead, but I mean, like...
I think he was the rightful king.
He was a very interesting character to me.
He was the rightful king this whole time, in my eyes.
Yeah, he's an honorable man, but the shit that he was doing throughout the entire series is just... Home Dog was not able to catch a break.
I think, Jesus. I think that John said it the best in how Ned said it about him, that he was hard but fair.
Hard but fair.
Don't get on his bad side. He's not somebody you got to worry about. But if you do, you're fucked, because there will not be an ounce of... nope, these are the rules. If you are on the wrong side of those rules, I'll take care of you accordingly. So I kind of can respect something about that, but burning your own little daughter and killing your own younger brother in the shadows.
Yeah, that was
that was a really weird turn that he took. Inspired by Melisandre and the Lord Light, and that was kind of fucked.
I like to think of it like at when Stannis is introduced to us, this is when he's being like corrupted, I guess.
Yeah.
Because with everything that's going on with Melisandre, he has a way of dealing with things and taking out his enemies and like being assured of his success and knowing which decisions to make. Because that's what he's getting from Melisandre, and Melisandre speaks to the gods. Speaks to the god.
Yeah, so everybody who believes in the Lord of Light. What's his name?
R'hllor.
R'hllor.
Like she just he has an end. It's like, okay, he has an advantage against his enemies and stuff, and now he's using it, but it's starting to fuck him over based on what the R'hllor wants, R'hllor requires from those who follow him.
Do you know what I think that the book did better at than the show? Is that the show makes R'hllor and the Red Queen and even the Red Priest who was rolling with the Freemen, remember?
Yeah.
Is that in the show it seems a lot more cultish. Whereas in the books he takes time, especially with Melisandre, when she's explaining it. And the way she does explain it kind of makes me think,
he seems like an actual fucking god.
Oh, okay. Well, no, not just that. It just seems like there's something really behind it. Like the drowned god, of the Salt Islands, like that shit, I don't know. They've never really explained it well enough where I'm just like, oh, okay. But the Lord of Light, they're just like, yeah, think about what happens in the dark. It can be scary, you know? Think about how you need fire and flame. It is a natural essence of life that human beings now require. We need it. We need light. We need heat. So I'm sitting there going, oh, okay, but in the show it just looks like a pure drink this fucking Kool-Aid, throw on these Jordans, and let's hop on this comet, because this is a fucking cult.
Drink some fucking Kool-Aid, throw on some Jordans, let's hop on this comic. Oh my god, Nick.
It seems like a cult, right?
Drink this fucking Kool-Aid, throw on these Jordans, let's hop on this comet. Drink this fucking Kool-Aid, throw on these Jordans,
hop on this comet.
Come on. Oh my god.
Oh, it's deep.
You derailed my fucking train of thought right there. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Oh my god.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. But that's what it seems like in the show. You're just like, these people are whack-a-fucking-do.
Yeah.
So at least in the book,
in the
it
show,
does get a little better.
They seem like they're crazy, but in the books, it seems like it's an actual religion, and he's an actual god.
Yeah.
Like that god is gonna do something to you if you fuck up. I mean, like the first bit of actual magic that you see in the show comes from
him.
Lore. So like another thing, like come on, Game of Thrones, give us a bit more magic. I want more magic.
I'll take more.
Yes, I will take more.
With Bran, of course. I think that's.
He's like he gets.
We didn't see him at all, did we? In 5.
No. That's why I think like in this new season,
he's gonna get so much.
There's gonna be a shit ton of Bran, and there's gonna be you see, there's a clip where Bran is like a White Walker, one of the true White Walkers, is standing right behind him. And he looks over there, he's like, "Oh my god, the White Walker! There's a White Walker!"
He's standing there, so we have to imagine that's a dream.
It is a dream, but I mean, like, hey, maybe that White Walker can use magic. What if he talks? But yeah, back to R'hllor Light. So, in the books, it seems like an actual religion. And I feel like, to me, the way he's described in the books, he might be an actual god in that world. Now, I say that he's a god, and people have recognized him, and they gave him a religion. The gods of the Seven Kingdom, like that, they may be gods, they may not be gods.
Well, I think
or there may be a different interpretation of the same god.
That's what I think it is.
Stuff like that.
Because
maybe that god is R'hllor, but there's also the stranger who, like...
But we don't talk about the stranger. Like, that's one of the things I think is funny, but I think he's the many-faced god.
Yes, exactly. Now, the whole thing is like... I think
maybe R'hllor is the maiden or something like that.
Well, no, I think it might be like this.
Or the warrior.
It might be like this, that...
the mother...
The stranger is the many-faced god, and the many-faced god is the gods of the Seven Kingdoms, the 7 gods.
So not only is he the stranger,
because he has the many faces.
6?
He's at the
so
many
he's all
faces.
7 of them.
Yes, maybe.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because he has so many faces.
Yeah.
Or he's just a stranger. A stranger can have any face that he wants to have because you don't know him. He's a stranger. Stranger danger.
I love that part in Home Alone where like he's buying the groceries and the girl's like, where do you live? And she's like, I can't tell you why, because you're a stranger. And she's like, yeah, why is she grilling this kid on where he lives?
Yeah, there's a funny part in Unbreakable. Yeah, it's a TV show where a girl and like 3 other chicks get like locked in a bunker for 15 years.
Whoa.
The show takes place after she gets out of the bunker. It's supposed to be a comedy too.
Oh, Netflix.
Yes, on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I saw previews, but no, I didn't watch it. It's got that very funny girl from Bridesmaids, right? Ellie Kemper.
Ellie Kemper, yeah. She finds a kid who's he steals a candy bar from a newsstand. And she runs after her. She chases him, but she gets the candy bar back. She puts it back in there. She sees the kid again, and she's like, "You again? Who are you? Where's your parents and stuff?" She chases him down and like grabs him and tries to get some information out of him. And he's all like, "Stranger danger!" And she's like, "No, I'm not a stranger danger. I'm a stranger danger ranger." And I thought that was pretty funny because she's very childlike in the show. It's childlike and everything is so new to her because she's been in the bunker for 15 years. So some of the references that she makes is pretty funny. Back on Game of Thrones. Nice to meet you.
We were talking about gods, brought up the many-faced god. Can we talk about Arya? Because I love me some Arya Stark.
Arya Stark, yes. She is my favorite character.
Yeah?
When she dies, or if she dies, I'm going to be like, oh no. Like there's certain characters that if they were to actually die, I might have to stop watching it.
She'll stay.
Reading
There's
the books
no way.
altogether because like, oh, I'm sorry, but they've like replaced so many of the characters that they had before with new characters, and there's a level of investment that you put into a character. Like with Eddard, I was fully invested in him, and I'm just like, first book,
tell me about
Home Dog dies. I'm like,
oh god,
that hurt right there.
It does.
It hurt so much
really
that I actually did not give a fuck when Robb Stark died.
Not as much.
It was a tough scene
because I kind of knew it was going to happen eventually.
I mean, like once they killed off Eddard, I'm like, okay, who else is going to die? Robb. He hasn't even got his own chapter yet. He can't live. But I'm like, even still.
I didn't think that far into it.
So yeah, Robb Stark.
He dies. We talked about it the other time.
Yeah,
Red Wedding. It is a good episode to watch if you are trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Watch the Red Wedding episode. It's season 3, episode 9.
Now, what was kind of tough about that is like it was in the books. It's told from Catelyn Stark's point of view.
Yeah.
So it's like she watches her son die, and she's already just like, oh, you're making mistakes. Why are you making these mistakes? This and mistakes that. In the books, and like in the show, you see him meet that the chick who he marries and has a kid and like starts like to impregnates and stuff. You see him meet him. You see the relationship bloom and stuff. It's like, oh man, Robb, what are you doing, you scamp?
Don't do that, man.
In the books, he just comes back with this chick.
Yeah, she's not.
She's like, boom, this is my wife. And Catelyn's like,
well,
what about Walder Frey?
But if you remember, the point that he tells her is right when she has to look at him for the first time after releasing Jaime Lannister. That was the first time that they had laid eyes on each other since she had let their captive go. And he looks at her and he's like, oh, don't worry about it, Mom. You know, anything for family. And she's like, oh my God, you know, this is going really well. Thank you. You know, this is awesome. Thank the gods. You know, he's not that mad at me. They're talking for like 10 more seconds and he goes, and I got married. And she kind of like gives this nod to the fact like, ooh, he played me. He knew that he just took it on me easily and he knew that he had to because now what am I going to do? I'm going to look at the man who just said anything for family and tell him to go fuck himself? Or he was wrong to follow him to his life?
I mean, like...
It was a well-played hand. He didn't fucking put up a... Like, because that's a fuck-up. She let go. Like, she had her reasons to let the Kingslayer go, but...
Okay,
in a matter of war, she really shouldn't have done that.
In a matter of war, like, okay, so... Robb Stark...
He really shouldn't have married somebody else. They're both bad.
Robb Stark lost his bargaining chip.
Yeah.
Because of what Catelyn Stark did with Jaime Lannister. Now, all he has to do is plan better tactically in order to win this war.
Well, they both
what Robb Stark did was marry this other chick, pretty much just making his contract with Walder Frey just null and void.
And not only null and void as if it didn't happen, but putting him on his shit list.
Yeah, just pretty much. He just said Walder Frey, fuck the pact that we came into. Fuck that and fuck you.
That's not something you want to do.
And then he still goes into this man's house, and it's just like, I gotta cross your bridge, so let's cross your bridge, and I'll eat with you and all this type of stuff.
Now, is it fucked up? Yes. He came back with the sorry's heart? Yes. He let him into his house, Walder Frey let him into his house, gave him salt and mead, and killed him, which you don't do. So he's going to get his comeuppance. He's going to have to get his comeuppance.
This is Game of Thrones, dude. No one gets their comeuppance. There's no comeuppance to be getting.
He's gonna.
No, you don't get comeuppance. You just get, like, as the only person who ever gets their comeuppance is the people who watch the show. For anything bad that you do in your life, you're just like, oh man, whatever, fuck them. I don't give a fuck. You watch Game of Thrones and you fall in love with one of the characters and the character dies.
That is something, yeah. If you're going to try to get your friends into it or even just start yourself and you're listening to this first, understand that, one, we spoiled so much for you, and two, if you start to love a character, they're dying. Period. So that fan theory of Tyrion dying, I wouldn't doubt it because, I mean, he can always come back. I mean, now it's this kind of getting like comic books where somebody dies and as long as there's a Lord of Light around, we got him.
So yeah, everybody's talking about Jon Snow coming back. And in the books, Catelyn Stark comes back.
That's a giant thing that nobody mentions in the show. Yeah, what a good performance.
Catelyn Stark comes back. Now, she comes back as Lady Stoneworth, I believe.
Yeah.
Stoneworth. You're the ones who has actually gone through the books like more recent.
Yeah, it's Stoneworth.
Lady Stoneworth. Now, the whole thing when her coming back is, it was the... No. It was, damn, what is his name? Oh, my God. I love his name so much.
All right, well, you think of that. So, what we were talking about at the Red Wedding, she gets her throat slit, actually.
Beric Dondarrion.
Okay.
Beric Dondarrion. He's the guy who never fucking dies. He rides with the Brotherhood of No Banner, and they're on they're all in the King's Land, just like guerrilla fighting all these dudes,
trying to pretty much be the Robin Hoods.
Yeah, just striking these shadow striking all these forces and stuff, just screwing everybody over. And they come across Catelyn Stark's dead body, and Beric Dondarrion gives his last revival to her, which brings her back to life. Now, Beric Dondarrion, I believe, is now completely dead. Unless he has to die one more time. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've researched all this crap. But he's done, and Catelyn Stark is the new, leader of the Brotherhood without banners and stuff.
So she got her throat slit, and then she ended up in a creek or a moat or some sort of water for a few days.
Nymeria, I believe, drags her out. Because we see that in one of Arya's wolf dreams. Drags her out. Also, a little side note, wolf dreams is something that's given to the world of dreams and the Wheel of Time. Now, you can only sometimes you can get in there, if you can talk to wolves and stuff, you can get in there through the wolf dream, so that's why I call it the wolf dream. It's interesting.
It's good detail.
Good detail. But yeah, the wolf
drags her out, and her body's all fucking haggard.
Yeah.
And she can't really speak because obviously,
she
came back to life, but it's not a pretty thing, you know.
They put a soul into her dead body.
It reminds me of the genie. I can't bring people back to life. It wouldn't be a pretty picture.
Yeah.
And it's not in the terms of what they paint in these books. They pretty
much just put a soul in a dead body.
But she's pretty badass. She fucking hates the phrase. And
she gurgles with her speaking too. And someone has to translate how they know what she's saying.
That's another thing Roy Dotrice just says well. He's the audible narrator. If we brought it up last episode, but we'll talk about him again. Roy Dotrice, yeah, because he's an awesome guy. That must be a great job. That must be a job, man. That was so interesting. If you, of course, geez. If you can actually do it, yes.
If you can pull it off,
people are gonna hate you so much.
Because not only does he do accents, but he does voices for the accents.
Do you know what? The only thing that I hate is the sound effects. If there's a war horn, sometimes it can go off in a scene up to 7-8 times, and it just.
There's sound effects in Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah, if there's a war horn, he'll go. Ho!
Him doing that. Okay. Right.
Ho! And like I said, it's in my ear, and it's kind of loud. But all right, I understand that the horn is blowing. I understand that it's written. But now that shit's happened 12 times in my ear, and I'm like, I get it. So that's the only thing that, it's not a fault to him or even the audible experience. It's the words on the page. He's got to do it. That's the only thing I don't like.
Yeah, it actually goes back. It actually goes back to the. Goes back to when you were reading when you were listening to the Star Wars audible books. The Star Wars audible books actually had sound effects.
But they're Lucas licensed. They're like the licensed sound effects. So
yeah, I mean, like at the start of a book, you hear the dun dun. Yeah.
We're gonna get sued.
Yeah, they started out with that, and then like throughout the entire Audible book, you'd hear the
blasters, lightsabers,
the lightsabers,
doors opening and closing.
Some of my favorites, or like they would say, like so and so we're landing on this planet, and you just hear the ship landing.
Yeah, that really got you into the experience.
Yeah, it really did.
The horn blows for this one kind of pull me right out, because all of a sudden, I'm kind of annoyed. It's just somebody screaming in my ear, literally. Because Roy Dotrice just has this slick voice for whoever he's doing, and he does a very good impression of a horn, and that shit's loud in my ear. I can't help that.
Yeah. Oh my god, how awesome was it in like the Darth Bane trilogy? Anytime they're having a lightsaber battle, and they got so hardcore into it. You just hear.
Maybe we should be Foley artists. We'll do this at night. We'll be Foley artists during the day. We'll just send stuff to different people. Like, what is this lightsaber battle? And they open it up, and that's all it is. It's just two guys sitting there going. Now that we have microphones, yeah, we should do that.
Or we could be voice actors. One of my favorite Star Wars sound effects, I'm sorry for getting off track, is in Phantom Menace, when Obi-Wan Kenobi is fighting Darth Maul. This is after Qui-Gon Jinn is killed. He steps out of the shield thingy, and they're just going at it. There's one part where I hear it every time. There's at no point have I watched Phantom Menace have I not heard that sound effect where he's just like, they come out there and he's like choo 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 choo, and there's always he just all the attacks he's just like block, 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 knock aside, spin, flourish. Let's do it. We're gonna do it again. Choo 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 choo. Oh, every time I'm just like, oh my god. Anytime there's a lightsaber battle, I'm like, please, let me hear it one more time.
Yeah. The four hits of it.
So silly.
So good, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the only good, real parts of that movie is that 2-on-1 battle, and then the race through the force fields, Qui-Gon dying, and then Obi-Wan, yeah. There's a lot of no's in those movies.
Yeah. Too bad the last no was probably like the worst. No.
Huh. I just had an idea, to kind of combine what we're talking about, and even our logo is long claw and a lightsaber. Do you think Valerian steel would hold up against a lightsaber, or lightsaber right through it?
Lightsaber right through it.
Because it's still just metal, regardless of how special.
Well,
what about Dragon Glass? Can anything other than a lightsaber?
Well, Valerian steel is supposed to be magical. But they can still melt it down.
So a fire can do it, yeah. Lightsaber's just
lightsaber's just a beam of pure plasma. I mean, like what they did, they melted down ice to make Jaime Lannister's sword, and I think another sword for somebody else.
For dumb shit piece of asshole crap king, motherfucking Joffrey.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Widow's Wail. The Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper is what ice got melted down into. Well, that was a good pull. That's a good trivia fact.
That was nice. You don't remember people's names, but you remember sword names.
Isn't that fucked? Why do I do that? Yeah, that's a funny point. Yeah, I can't remember who wielded them, but I'll know their names.
Okay, so screw Lord of Light. So now we're talking about Arya Stark.
Wow, that was such a long tangent, but that was a good one.
Yeah, Arya Stark and her deal.
Well, I just watched the first episode again today, and that's one of the characters that Season 1, Episode 1 to Season 5, 10 it's just like, wow, you have gotten so much older.
Yeah.
She is so small and mousy in that first episode. So that's a journey in itself just for this girl. And her journey, in my opinion, like we were saying, favorite character and whatnot, is the most interesting. She's gone the most places and seen the most things. And in terms of what I think we're going to get this season, I think they're going to stay faithful to the book, and we're going to see some really cool shit happen with her.
I'm like at a very young age. She's no, Rickon is the youngest, but she's the second youngest, and she's running around just offing dudes. She through her journey, she's just had to kill quite a few people just to get to where she is, just so she could survive.
Well, how about we start with the person that we saw her kill last, because that scene, if you haven't seen it, is amazing.
Marin Trent.
She's in a whorehouse, dressed up as a very young girl, and Marin Trent is the despicable, disgusting kind of low, gross scumbag that goes to a whorehouse and asks for like 10, 11-year-olds, and he's there, and he's not even, necessarily in all, sex isn't the only gratification. He wants to fucking beat him too, and it's goddamn disgusting, but he hits this girl who we don't see as Arya, because her face is all down, but hits her, and whereas the other two yelled, this one just stays there. Hits her again, doesn't move, hits her a third time and breaks the fucking switch over her shoulder.
He excuses the other two girls, like, nah, I'm gonna have some fun with this one right here.
I think his actual disgusting, gross line is, well, I've got my work cut out for me, don't I? Ugh, sleazy as gross as fuck. She goes down to a knee, because he punches her right in the gut, comes up, her face is Arya, stabs him in the eye, stabs him in the other eye, stabs him in the chest a few times, and she's reminding him who she is.
I'm Arya Stark.
Slits his throat, and it's a wicked, wicked scene. I mean, just heart-pounding.
He's just like, oh my god.
And it puts you in a weird place as a human being to go, I am so happy that guy got his throat slit. Because that's not a normal sentence to say, but like I said, this guy was beating and raping little girls.
One of the things that guy really sold so well was just like the agony that he was in. I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, because if you saw the actual knife, it is small.
Take it easy on him, maybe.
No, the knife is small enough to do damage, but not exactly to penetrate enough to kill. So both eyes and a few in the chest and neck.
Yeah, he was hurting.
His last few minutes were the deserving way to go, in my opinion. But so. That man actually killed was the first on her list. Arya Stark is so badass that her prayers before she goes to sleep is a list of people she wants dead.
Yeah.
And that guy was actually the first because he killed her dancing instructor. Her father, God rest his soul, Ned Stark, awesome man, knew that she didn't want to be a maid and wanted to be a warrior and got her quote-unquote dancing lessons, but they were really sword fighting lessons, which is just
called water dancing.
Which is one of the another reason why I said Ned Stark was my favorite, obviously till he died. But just what a cool guy, and she also referred to it as her such a great father, one of the only good fathers in the fucking show, really. And Jon Snow gave her a gift, her needle, which is her awesome little sword, and so she would do her dancing lessons or work on her needle point, and that was their way of secretly talking about her becoming a badass, really, and putting her on that path, but still, seeming wink about it, it's our little secret, and, Jon Snow, when he gave her the sword, do you know how to use it? Yeah, and you stick the pointy end in, and that's one of the things, too, that when I listen to it, is that they both think of each other a lot.
Yeah.
And the tousling of her hair, and calling her little sister. And I think it's sweet that both characters do it half a world away, not even, with no communication at all. So I really do hope that they too get to see each other again.
The way these books are written and how the show goes, I don't fully believe any of the characters that were split up from the beginning are actually going to meet ever again.
That I would agree. I don't think I would love it, but yeah,
it's kind of unnecessary.
It'd be so nice, though. I mean, maybe if they don't even meet, just have them know. Because as far as they know, I think Bran is the only one who is positive at this point that Rickon's alive.
Yeah.
But nobody else knows about anybody else, except that Robb's dead. No, everybody should know that Robb is dead.
Well, everybody believes that Bran and Rickon are dead.
And Arya's been missing since they took her. And now, they think that Sansa...
In the show...
Oh, yeah, well, that's a big difference,
thing. In the show, I think they may believe that either Arya Stark is traveling or she died in King's Landing for whatever reason.
Nobody's seen her since King's Landing.
After shit fell to pieces when her father died, no one has seen her. So she's just missing.
Mm-hmm.
Bran is trying to find her and Sansa. Now, Sansa goes off with Littlefinger. I have no idea.
He was the one who eventually planned her escape out of King's Landing and away from Joffrey and her then husband, who was actually Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah.
Got her out, brought her to the Vale, married her aunt, pushed her aunt out of fucking Moondor, and then he brought her to pretty much sell her and exchange her for something to the Boltons.
Yes.
And that's why Ramsay in the show married Sansa Stark. So Littlefinger's plan to rescue her wasn't really that. He was just trying to pick up another chip, and I can't remember the exact reason that he traded her to the Boltons.
Neither can I.
But did for some reason. In the book, Ramsay doesn't marry Sansa, he marries Arya.
Who
but
isn't Arya
at all.
They're Arya and Sansa's friend, Jane Poole, pretending to be Arya Stark.
Because nobody knows where she is, and who's going to now claim, no, this can't be Arya Stark. Is her father going to do it? No, he's dead. Is her mother going to do it? No, he's dead. Her older brother? Nope, he's dead. Jon's not coming back from the wall. Sansa Stark's gone for all we know, and her other two brothers are dead.
Grab a girl, call her Arya, and now
that's exactly what happened.
North.
And that's what... And the only person to know any different, actually, is Theon.
Yes, because Theon has actually seen the girls.
Yeah, has knows both. But Theon, a.k.a. Reek, is very loyal to Ramsay, and not until the end of the book and the show season do we see him turn on them at all. Yeah. So in the show, he runs away with Sansa. In the book, he runs away with... Jane, quote-unquote, Arya. So that's a big difference that I think they made just to keep Sansa in the limelight. Because you don't hear about Sansa in the book, really, at that point. She's off doing stuff still with Littlefinger.
See, this is one of the things that that's just weird to me about the books and the show. Is the storylines that are like being written out in the books and the storylines that happen in the show. It's been said that the show has the outline for the rest of the series. So they can just keep going. If George R. R. Martin just, God forbid, dies and just doesn't finish the series.
But he knows it, and he's signed off on it. He knows, he has told them how he wants it to end as well.
Yes, so
between them, like we said, he is the co-executive producer. He knows how it's going to end, at least on both fronts. But I'm sure, as the executive, he's seen these changes, and he has to understand them, too.
Yeah. So,
between time and money, and there's got to be so many factors.
So now then, what that makes me think is that, okay, well, who are some of the characters that aren't going to amount to anything in the book? Because he puts a lot of things in the book. Does a lot of writing. There's a lot of content. And they boil a lot of it down and take away a lot of shit to put to the shows.
They just have to, yeah. I mean, we'd have too many seasons if not. I mean, there'd probably be 11, 12 seasons.
Now, there are characters that they throw in there that are supposed to serve a purpose, and then there are characters that are thrown in there that just kind of they go in there, they do the story for a little bit, and then they die. Like, one of my biggest ones that was in a book is Quentin Martell.
Okay.
Now, he's, you remember him, he's in the book, he's the frog-faced, Martell dude who's trying to court Daenerys. Yes. And now, in the books, he doesn't do anything whatsoever. Nothing memorable, nothing of great mention, nothing. Until the very end where he tries to get the dragons out there, dies in the process, letting them free.
After Drogon has taken Daenerys off.
Yes. Yeah, he tries okay, let me just try to tame these other dragons. Oh shit, this isn't working. Oh shit, this isn't working. Oh crap, I'm dead.
I love it.
Dragons are free.
He's going in to their fighting pit where they're being kept, and he sees the one, and he's feeding it sheep, and it's like, okay, thank you for the sheep. It's like, where the fuck is that other one? Wasn't there two? And he looks up, and deep in it, he has dug a cavern to sleep in. And, like, just fire blasting and Doug because he broke his chain. And that was really cool. Like, oh, here I am feeding this one sheep. Where's that other one? And he looks up and has fire, and it's just like, ah! And that's when shit really starts to get fucked up.
So fuck, it's already
Who tries to go and tame a dragon?
Yeah. Well, see, I guess because he watched her do it.
Yeah, he thought he could just grab a whip and I could do it.
Mm-hmm. So then, like, when he's trying to do that with one dragon, the other dragon's behind him, and he turns around, and it's like, boom, fire your face, bitch. And he's like, no! And he gets fucking sizzled to a crisp.
To a crisp.
So I'm like, okay, well, kind of seems like they just brought him in just to die.
Yeah, because he really showed up right before she gets married.
Yeah.
And dies right then. So really, if they were to introduce him even into the show, he'd be there in episode... The last 10 seconds of episode 8 would be a character maybe existing through 9 and would be at the end of 10. So why even do it, you know? Yeah. But yeah, they did just introduce this whole character just to die.
I mean, yeah, sure, he did one thing, which is release dragons, but
Anybody
something that anybody, yeah. That's kind of how I like the Martells have a track record of like throwing dudes in there just to die at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Oberyn Martell, like maybe he actually should have lived.
No, you got what he deserved. You don't go try and you don't take a whip into a dragon cage and you're just like, I got this.
Oberyn Martell.
This guy who died by the mountain.
Yes.
You got to tell me nicknames. We've talked about this.
The Viper.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, don't go say names. Say nicknames so I can keep on the same track.
Now, did he get what he deserved?
Yeah. Yep, in my opinion, yes. I understand that he wanted the vilification of hearing this person say that he did all the crimes that he knows he did. He got cocky, got too close, and let this mountain of a man put his hands on him.
Okay.
You don't do that.
I have said that many times, but I mean, like, as far as writing goes, I mean, as far as writing goes, he did serve a purpose to bring the Martells in, but what are they doing?
What do you mean?
What are they doing? What are the Martells doing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, they're the Sand Snakes, so in the show they just killed... What's her name?
But they're not doing anything. There's Doran Martell who's working against the Sand Snakes, and the Sand Snakes who are just trying to get away from Doran Martell to start doing things on the Lannisters, but I'm just like, come on. Either do something or don't do something.
Well, they killed Marion. Marion. What's...
Marcella.
Thank you.
Marion.
She doesn't have a nickname, so fuck it.
Yeah,
they killed her on the show, so that's
on the
a move.
show, yes.
Oh, in the book, yeah. No.
I'm not doing anything in the book.
No.
What I'm feeling like, okay, like as far as the storylines go in the show, in the book, like what are they doing? Like why are they in the book for them to be in the show?
George Raymond Richard Martin. How's that answer?
Almost sound like you just didn't know his name too. Like what you do with the Marion.
Well, because I wanted to say Richard Raymond for some reason. I was like, no, if I fuck it up, I'll be bad. Let's strike down to Bayonne and just start screaming his name and wait for somebody to go, yeah. George Martin! Yeah? Oh shit. It's him.
They're just driving around Bayonne, just like circling all the areas. George Martin! George Martin!
It would be.
But I don't think they're not doing anything. At least not anything yet. And all this stuff is happening. Okay, Oberyn dying, like it lit the fire under their asses. Under the Sand Snake's asses. But still nothing is happening. Why is it taking so long? Now, in the books, they do introduce Aegon Targaryen, who lands in Dorne at the end. Aegon Targaryen is the son of Ilya Martell, I believe.
Okay.
Whose head was supposed to be smashed against the wall.
Correct.
The baby who was supposed to die but didn't die.
Did not die.
Yes. So maybe him coming back will be like, yo.
So that'll make him Daenerys' cousin.
Yeah. cousin. Because
they have different mothers.
Yeah, because what's his face? Daenerys, Viserys, and Rhaegar were the children of Aerys Targaryen. Ilya Martell and Rhaegar Targaryen are the ones who made Aegon Targaryen. Yeah, so
Cousin.
All
right. It's a lot of information, man.
It is a lot of
It is a world that he has built that must just... Imagine being able to... imagine what we're doing right now, slipping into this world and explaining these characters and playing with them in a sense of recreating what they've done. Imagine being him and going into this world, and what you play becomes reality.
If there's
that's got to be just so cool.
A Targaryen family tree that is on the internet somewhere. It just lists all the Targaryens from Aegon Targaryen, who conquered Westeros, to all the Targaryens from then that ruled, along with their brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, just offshoots of the Targaryens, and a little snippet of what they did during their time and what nickname they had and how they were as a ruler and all that type of stuff. And it's
well, on that tree, there must have been a lot of brothers and sisters, also as husbands and wives.
Yeah.
Because Targaryens go like that. Like I said, I watched the first episode today, but I did it over at my sister and brother-in-law's house. So, as Daenerys is first seen with her brother Viserys, got one, nice. He's touching her boobs and stuff, and then talks about how he'd let 40,000 guys fuck her with their horses, and she's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, no, they're brother and sister. They do that sometimes in the Targaryen line. And ew. And I was like, yeah, not everybody does it, though. And then if you watch the end of the episode, it's Jaime and Cersei fucking. I was like, well, they're brother and sister. I thought you said nobody else does it. And I was like, no, well, they kind of do it, too. That's Jaime's main point as they're humping. Every single time that he talks about it in his head, in the books, it's always, the Targaryens do it, and they rule, why can't we? Let's just put that shit out there. Who's going to oppose us? And then he loses a hand at some point, and it's not too good at the fighting no more.
Well, they're Lannisters, they're not Targaryens.
They're Lannisters. Well, yeah, Lannisters supposed to have more class, I guess, not be as bad.
They're
a higher family.
They're not Targaryens. They're not the most powerful family in all of Westeros. And that's power, in just word of mouth, and not so much in what they own or what they rule. Because the Targaryens have ruled for such a long time that their name just holds the power behind it.
Can we just take a second here and talk about my favorite Lannister, please?
Which one is that?
Tyrion.
I don't know.
Because from what I've listened to in the book compared to the show, I mean, that's a detour so far that what we're about to talk about happens in the book. People who only watch the show, it's like, what? We didn't see any of that, because it's not mentioned at all.
Yeah.
Basically what happens to Tyrion after he kills his father, that happens, escapes on a boat, and he rolls with some people, then he becomes a slave to this other slaver with Mormont, which kind of happens in the show, but he doesn't get out of it.
He rolls with young Griff for a little bit.
Yeah, why don't you talk? You probably know. Young Griff is...
Oh, young Griff is the Aegon Targaryen. He's the one who
He's the one we were just talking about,
He's
the
kid
cousin.
Who didn't die.
Okay.
He's going to be the Targaryen that's going to, I believe, who's going to conquer Westeros again. So, Aegon conquered Westeros for the first time, and then now this new Aegon is going to do it again.
And they liked Tyrion for a while. They were rolling with him for a while. They had a mutual respect thing
Varys threw him in that group and was like, this is what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were rolling around with each other for a little bit, and then the slavery thing happened. And, he was teaching, Aegon some tidbits about ruling
and they play that game that seems exactly like chess. I can't remember. What's it called? Do you know off the top of your head? When it's out of knights and pawns and stuff, they have dragons, elephants, horses, lances. It sounds a lot like chess, and your dragon can move the most pieces, and this one can only move this way and that way. So it's basically Game of Thrones version of chess. And that was a cool interaction that they had, and you're right, he taught him a lot of stuff. And I think anybody who's got Tyrion's ear is really good, because Tyrion is the smartest person in the show, and that's because if you didn't know, if you're not listening, you don't know who Tyrion the Lannister is. He's an imp, a dwarf, a little person. And in the book, He is horribly grotesque. In the show, he's played by Mr. Peter Dinklage, who, in my opinion, is a nice-looking man, especially a man who can rock the shit out of a beard.
Oh.
But in the book, he lost part of his nose at the Battle of Blackwater, and just already, he was already just misfigured and scaly, or not scaly, but almost burnt-looking and just kind of gross. And his eyes are miscolored, one's red and one's black, maybe, or something like that. Just kind of...
He's just not delightful to look upon at all.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to look upon him. World.
So he gets caught up with the slavers and meets another little person who he knew for a while. Penny.
Penny, yes. She is another little person. She plays in this traveling troupe sort of thing. They put on shows and stuff. She rides...
Pretty Penny. No, Pretty Pig.
Pretty Pig.
The pig.
Pig.
And I can't remember the dog's name.
That's what.
But she used to be a part of a two-person act. She herself
with
being
another
a little person, and her brother.
Now, what was actually happening at this point in time after Tyrion Lannister kills his father? What's her face? Cersei Lannister was over here, like, she knows Tyrion did it, but Tyrion just kills his father and bounces.
And he's also, up to that point, led to believe that he killed his nephew, the king.
Yes.
Then killed his father and bounced.
Yeah, at this point right here, Cersei's like, I know he killed our father. He killed my son. He killed our father. He's just a killer of family. He's a kinslayer. So he got to go. Anybody who could find him, they'll get a ginormous reward.
They get a kingship, actually.
Yes, a kingship.
Lands and a kingship. Bring me his head.
Bring me his head. And now what happens to this other dwarf that's traveling with Penny is that
her brother.
Some dudes are just like, hey, he's a male dwarf. Take his head. Let's bring it back to the king.
Take his head. Let's cut off his nose. We'll fuck up his face a little bit, and we'll try to sell him off as Tyrion Lannister. So when he meets Penny and he finds out that the reason her life has gone to shambles since her brother died, mistaken for him, at one point he joins this show. And he is riding a giant dog as she is riding a pig, and they're... What's that sport that they used to do with the sticks and the horses? Jousting.
Jousting.
But they're doing it on a pig and a dog instead, and they're doing it for laughs and jeers.
Shits and giggles.
And compared to what he's doing in the show, that's like a what? But Mormont is still with them, and at one point, their slaver is about to die. He knows once that happens, they're fucked. Somehow crosses over the battle lines and joins the Second Sons.
Craziness.
So really when we hear about him in the last, as far as I know, is that he's signing all these papers that pretty much say, I, Tyrion Lannister, once all this shit is settled, I'm going to be the king of Castle Rock. I'm going to have all this money, and I'm going to have to pay these guys. I mean, I think he signed 50 pieces of paper. And towards the end, I think the Grand Marshal himself got like 100,000 golden dragons, lands, provisions, a kingship, blah, 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 blah. So if he does pull it off, it will be good, but it's going to cost him a lot. Whereas in the show, he actually ends up meeting Daenerys, talking to her for like a split second before she gets on the dragon, and is ended up being in their small council, of Daenerys' small council, the best brain to run their city while Daenerys is gone. But he obviously cannot be the actual mouth.
Yeah.
Because nobody trusts him.
No, nobody knows who he is.
They would actually pick, what's his name, Grey Worm, to be the mouth of the words behind Tyrion. And like, what a freaking difference that is. The mouth of a city working to help the Targaryens versus a guy who's joining the Second Sons after just getting out of a stint of a show, riding a dog, jousting another little person on a pig.
Different.
Could you imagine if they had to do that in the show?
Yeah. I'm wondering. It's like, okay, is that what's going to happen next for Tyrion in the books? He's going to be running Marine. How does he get there?
How does he get there? Yeah, with the Second Sons, how could he possibly do that?
So there's Tyrion Lannister. What about Jaime Lannister? Now, Jaime Lannister was... I actually like him a lot. Like, his character has developed in such a nice way.
Thank you, yeah. I was going to say, this whole time you liked him?
his
Because I didn't like him when he was going with Brienne. Like,
I mean, like he was
in the show and the book, he was a douchebag.
He was a shit stain.
And then he got his hand taken off, got some humility, and has grown since then, and has grown nicely. But he was a shit stain. Yeah.
Yeah. What I like the most about it is that like he knew his whole life was just revolved around him being good with his sword and being a Lannister.
Yeah. That was the only thing. Yeah, he was very good at being a Lannister.
And he was the best with the sword. He lost his hand. He's like, shit, I can't defend myself now. So if someone wants to come at me, like, I'm not a man who can defend himself. I'm just a Lannister.
The only person who
doesn't really mean that much to him.
Yeah.
Being a Lannister.
Well, the only person who doesn't think that he was the better Lannister this whole time was Cersei.
Yeah.
Because there's so many times in the book where she says or thinks, you know, if I was given the cock and not him, I would have this place locked down. Like, if I was a man, like, I wouldn't have to go through any of the hoops that I have to as a woman during that time, you know, not listen to as much. It's penis envy, oh yeah. But still, it's...
Because she is the one who's in charge, and she's just being an idiot about everything she does.
Yeah, but in the show now, Jaime and Marcella... Fuck yeah, I got another one. See, I'm getting better at names. Jaime and Marcella are on a boat, they're coming back from Dawn, and he's trying, after he loses his hand, I feel like he's trying to get right with the world.
Yeah, he is.
He's really starting to balance out what he wants, and he's starting to see priorities.
The goodness is in the character. The goodness that you only ever saw when he was interacting with his brother is just starting to surface now because he has nothing to be cocky about, nothing to be arrogant for any other reason than just, okay, he's a good person who's just really good at sword fighting, and then he was like, yeah, and he's King's Guard. He got to be a King's Guard because he was so good at sword fighting. So he was good at what he does, but now he's King's Guard. He's the captain of the King's Guard, and he can't protect the king.
So really, what are you then?
Yeah, exactly. So now he's humbled himself, and now he's trying to prove himself in other ways, which you get to see in a book, which doesn't really come up too much in the show.
But in the show, he's trying to prove himself to his daughter, who he knows is his daughter, but he thinks that she doesn't know. And he's trying to break to the fact that Robert wasn't your dad, I'm your dad. And she stops him and is like, I know. And he's taken aback. And she's like, don't worry, you know, I've known, and I'm happy. I'm happy for you and Mother, because whatever it is, no matter how weird it is, blah, 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 at least you two are in love and you're together.
It's so gross.
It's gross, and maybe it's a child's naivety, but in a sense, it is a very sweet sentiment that they're trying to share in that moment. No matter the twisted terms.
Child naivety is just like, oh.
Mommy and Daddy shouldn't hump. I mean, you should know that.
But it's
or Mommy and Daddy should hump, but they shouldn't be brother and sister.
But it's just
brother
like
and sister
she's so naive, and it's just like, you know what? It's okay with her. I was like, that's sweet, but still so fucking gross.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, for what the show is, and all the death and despair, that is really the closest to a touching scene that we're going to get, is an incestual father looking at his daughter, and his daughter going, I'm happy you and my aunt. Yeah.
It's just like, whoops,
it is what it is, yeah.
This is Game of Thrones.
But
don't get sappy, you bitch, she dies.
Yeah, that she dies because one of the sand snakes had poison on her lips, gave her this giant...
She poison ivied the fuck out of her.
Poison ivy, nice fucking pull. Uma Thurman poison ivied her. Hell yes. Oh, nice pull, sir. Venom. Very good. So that's where we end with Jaime. Yeah, high five. That's where we end with Jaime in the show, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Because, you know, like we just said, when he was traveling with Brienne, he was kind of a douchebag.
Yes.
And I liked Brienne this whole time. Brienne, for those who don't know, started off serving Ramsay Bolton.
No, she started off...
No, not Bolton. Jesus Christ. Let me get this. Baratheon.
Not Ramsay, though.
Oh, what's his name? Baratheon. The youngest Baratheon. Who had to escape the city, who was like, hey, Ned, we gotta get out of here. They're gonna cut our fucking heads off. And Ned was like, nah, don't worry. They're not gonna cut our heads off. And then Ned got his fucking head cut off. And the brother left, and he was about to marry Marjorie Tyrell. He was a Baratheon.
Yes, he was a Baratheon.
Anyway, so she serves him, like we talked about earlier in the episode, his brother, through the power of the Red Witch, got him murdered. So she moves on and works with Cad Stark. Cat Stark says, hey, you got to take this Kingslayer back to King's Landing so I can get my daughters back. He does that with her, or she does that with him.
Renly Breath.
Renly. Okay.
Renly Breath.
She was serving him. All this happens, and at the end of the show, we actually see him.
Oh, it was to the Stark, and not the Stark, but the Stag, and I'm just like, oh, his name's Renly.
So, at the end, we see her avenging Renly Baratheon's death to Stannis Baratheon, and that's going to be cool. But I think as she was traveling with Jaime, we got to see a lot of her too. And again, you know, I can't remember the actress's name who plays Captain Phasma in Star Wars. She's, I think, a lovely lady. But in the book, they make her seem just goddamn gross in the book, though, as well. You know, another kind of... Peter Dinklage is a nice-looking guy, and in the book, they make him a monster. The kind of same with Brienne. You know,
she's just like the way they describe her.
Yeah, she's a big lady, but she's still lovely. It's just... In the book, they make her seem like a goddamn monster, too.
Big lady, all homely, all wide, fat face.
Her teeth, too, they describe as if she's got a fucking bear trap in between her lips. Just nothing that you'd want any part of you, sensitive or not, around. So now that she's gotten...
Not today's Zerg.
Yeah. Now that she's gotten that, what do you think she'll do? You know, she got Stannis. That was her goal.
Still looking for... the Stark sisters.
That's what she's going to do this season if we see her, you think?
Yeah. I mean, because that's the whole reason why she was there. But then it's like, oh, it's you. You killed Renly. I know, because I saw your face
in the shadow.
The shadow fucker. So I'm just like, all right, well, just take out this sword here, and in the name of Renly, I'm going to fucking slash the shit out of you. Stannis is like...
Stannis Baratheon.
Do your duty.
In the name of the king. Yeah, do your duty. What a great fucking way.
Do your duty.
Because if you see the show, you know, he's walking, he's trying to get away from the battle, and two guys come up on him.
Kills two more dudes.
Fucking just wails him out, and he's really injured and sitting on the tree, and that's when she comes up and takes the final, but, you know, she does the whole Stannis Baratheon, in the name of Renly Baratheon. True heir, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, blah, 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 I sentence you to die. Do you have any final words?
Do your duty.
Do your duty. Slash, and that's all we see of her, but... Stannis, you know, did some fucked up stuff, but I still think he had the most rightful aim to the throne after Daenerys, or... I was sad to see him go. But now, we still have the Onion Knight to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, but I still like Stannis Baratheon being in all the scenes. The guy who played him was good at
wonderful.
What he did.
Very wonderful.
You see what, like, because Stannis Baratheon is supposed to be a character that rarely ever spoke. He acted, he made decisions. They could be, they're like, very few words. The only thing he was trying to do was get his point across. So to see him in the show, acted by that guy, the guy was still gruff and like, I'm going to say as few words as I need to get my point across. Someone's over here who comes out like, oh my God, in the name of your brother, I'm going to kill you. And he's just like, do your duty. That's it.
Accepts his death. And I think after he kills his daughter, he's willing for it. You know, he put his last effort into that battle, and then he saw all those people coming around him. He's tired. Yeah. I think at that point he knew.
It's like, all right. I mean, like, that's probably like the easiest way for him to go. Just like, after everything he's done, it's like, all right, well, at least I don't have to live any longer with this fucking torment that I'm dealing with. Cersei Lannister.
Shame. Shame.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Those were some comeuppance.
Shame. Shame.
Those were some comeuppance.
Not enough comeuppance for me.
Not enough, but those were still some pretty good comeuppance.
They knocked her down a peg, but it wasn't a high enough peg for me.
I agree. I think in the book, you know, talk about just the small difference too as well. They completely shaved her down.
Yeah.
And everywhere.
She was slick. You could throw her against a puddle of grease and she would slide all the way back to the...
Yeah. She's kind of sucked since the very beginning, though. So that's kind of why, you know, if you were to hear that somebody had to nakedly walk from one side of this giant place to the other naked, having people curse and yell and throw shit at you, you'd be like, wow, that's horrible. I feel bad for this lady. But if you really knew all of the shit that Cersei has pwned from the beginning, you know, we've talked about her, maybe, have we talked, yeah, no, we have talked about her humping her brother. Bran Stark sees it, and because of that, he gets pushed out a window.
Yeah.
Her son was the king, and he called for Ned Stark's head. She kind of allowed it, didn't really step in. He beat Sansa. She never really stepped in. He kind of got on her nerves, never really did much. He died.
He let her slap her.
Yeah. Then he dies, and she fucks over Tyrion a bunch. She's always hated Tyrion. Yeah. She's just never been a nice person.
She just kind of sucks.
So she deserves all that shame.
In the books, you get the chapters that are actually told from her point of view, and you actually get to hear the thoughts that are going on in her head. And it's just like
she's disgusting.
It's despicable. That comeuppance was nice. She was just very. It's pretty much one of the only comeuppances that you actually see
in full view. Yeah.
Yeah, you actually get it. You actually get it in the books. Let's see, the people who killed Jeor Mormont beyond the wall. He was the original Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Yes.
They killed him in the books. Cold Hands just comes back and yeah, they're dead. Okay, you get to see their asses get handed to them, and it's kind of nice. And then you get to see Samwell defeat a White Walker.
But now, at the end of the book and the show, she gets to King's Landing, gets actually back into the castle, and gets picked up by this 8-foot tall monster man, who is a revived mountain. Right? Yes. Yeah, he goes by a new name now because they have to pretend that Clegane is dead.
Sir Robert
because
Strong.
His head is supposed to be over and gone.
Yeah.
So now he's Robert Strong. And he's vowed to take a vow of silence until until Cersei's bidding is done.
Yeah,
I tried to say it like they did, but I fucked it up.
Fuck that thunder cunt.
But now she's just gonna have even more power, even more time to hurt people. It's just not gonna be good for anybody. And she's just gonna make things worse, but that's still yet to come.
Yeah, screw her though.
We can't be 100% sure yet.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing a lot of shitty shit. Like you could even tell the last look she gives at the end of the carrying away.
What a terrific actress.
I'm gonna continue to do some wrong.
And she does.
Fuck Cersei Lannister.
But now actually we're 5 minutes past 9. Season 6 is a thing, sir. It's happening. We're missing it.
You wanna watch it?
We should.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, guys. We had lots of fun. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of knowledge just dropped for you. We hope
Unfortunately, there's some Game of Thrones that we gotta watch, and we're gonna watch it.
So thank you very much for listening. I've been Nick Philbeck.
And I'm Bobby the Juice.
Y'all have a nice night.
Love you.